About 3 weeks ago, a group of nerds, including me, Player123 and DJ Voldemort, worked on a battle and statistic calculator that helped you figuring out which was the benefit for each piece of equipment that you put on your commanders. I'm happy to say that hundreds of players have downloaded the battle calculator from our Discord, link in the description below, and all of them gave us positive feedbacks. Even if we knew that it was just a starting point, we are on our way now to work on a much bigger project, a graphical project that will be coded on Python, but in the meanwhile, some other hardworking and very competent people hopped on our project. Among them, there is Kokonian, Dai, S, and Salamalesssss. The last one, Salamalesssss, a lovely French player, wrote to me and said that he was working on improving our first version of the battle and statistic calculator. More than improving, we could use those formulas, modify them to include more variables, and make a different tool that is capable of calculating thousands of equipment combinations basing on the data you input in the spreadsheet and finding the best equipment combination. The results were extremely exciting. Let's take a look together. Hello everyone, it's your usual Mr. Wick here, and today it's a very special video for me, because we will be giving out for free to our community another tool that we hope will improve your game experience and make your equipment decisions much easier. I receive daily so many questions about equipment, which pieces should you prefer based on your personal situation, the money you spend on the game, how much you grind, and what's your main focus. And even if I always try my best to answer to all of the questions, my time is very limited. I mean, sometimes players just write to me in private without even saying good morning and send me an entire poem of 5,000 words illustrating carefully their situation and asking for detailed opinions. Come on, you can take 3 more seconds to say, "Hello Wick, how are you, little flower?" Well, maybe you can spare the little flower. Anyway, I want everyone to be able to decide things by themselves and be autonomous. That's why, thanks to the great work of Salamalesssss with our previous spreadsheet, I am able to present you this new tool right here. It's called Equipment Optimizer, and it's the version 1.0. We are already planning to have several tools for different game scenarios, so definitely join our Discord and stay tuned. This tool right here takes account of everything needed, including several important factors that are often neglected and not compared with each other. Like, it's better the percentage of damage reduction or the percentage of damage increase? And also, should I still go for the legendary pieces if I'm not sure they will be specialized? And many other things altogether. In the specific, we have this brand new box on the top right, the Equipment Quality box, where you will be able to tell the calculator whether or not you have the possibility to craft a specific tier of equipments and if you want the calculator to consider those pieces specialized or not. For example, if you are a low spender, you might not want the calculator to consider the legendary pieces. So what to do? Just go on this box, open the selection window and click No. Now there is an A and an R, but in the final version I will upload on my Discord, there will be yes and no. Same story for the other box on the other side. If you're a super big spender and you plan to forge an equipment many times until you get a special talent, then you can check this box right here. You can check both of them. Everything else is as I've explained in the previous guide about the battle and statistic calculator, so go watch that video, card up on the top. You just need to decide which march to analyze. Last time I made an example with my Artemisia and Ramses. This time I want to use an infantry march. I'll use my Guan Yu and Alexander the Great. First thing to do, check which unit you are using. I have the Ottoman civilization, so I have a normal tier 5 infantry unit for my infantry commanders. So I go to this box right here and I search for base tier 5 infantry. Here you go. I select it and the spreadsheet automatically fills out the boxes with the right base stats for that unit type. Let's now go back in game. Let's click on Commanders and remove all the equipment that you have on your commander. So let's remove the Sakura Fubuki, Seth's Brutality, Karyak's Humility, Shio's Return, the Concealed Dagger and the Wind Scars. Now, go out of your city with your march. So I select my Guan Yu and Alexander, and we battle a random barbarian on the field. I am in KVK right now, so my statistics are going to be boosted because of the KVK technology. But if you think about it, at the end you are not building your equipment to fight within your own kingdom, so you might want very well to take the KVK technology into account when asking the calculator to balance out your equipment. Anyway, that's all up to you, you can literally do whatever you want. After the battle ends, open the report and click on troop buffs. So this is the report, and we click now on troop buffs. You need now to pick up the values that you need and write the exact same thing on the calculator. So let's go over to the calculator and let's write the values as we see them on the battle report. So we write 148% infantry attack, 117% infantry defense, and 71% infantry health. But not everything has been accounted for yet. Some skills do not show on the battle log. In fact, if we go in-game and click on Alex, let's read what the third skill says. It says, while on the map, infantry units led by this commander gain 30% increased march speed and 30% increased attack. The problem here is that all the skills that say while on the map, like Alex's third skill or even Ramses' second skill right here, do not show on the report. In the previous tutorial, I tested this and I showed you that it's actually how I'm saying right now. You may ask me now, Wick, how can I know if Lilith will fix this one day, or if there are other skills that do not show in the battle log? My answer is just test. Test everything out when you can to be sure that things have not been changed. If you want to see if Ramses' second skill shows or not in the report, just pair him as a second to another commander like Artemisia and check the report the first time. Then send Artemisia alone and check the report the second time. If the value of attack has not changed, and for the record it does not change, you can tell that this skill right here is not accounted for in the sum of the statistics that your commander possess. So once you wrote down everything you need in the spreadsheet, it's time to account for the temporary stats. This is a bit more tricky, but I'll try to explain it in the best way I can. If we go back to Alexander and take a look to Alexander's fourth skill, it says, when not shielded, troops led by this commander gain 40% increased attack. When shielded, troops gain 30% increased defense instead. So Alex gains some extra attack when he's not shielded and some extra defense when he's shielded. On average, you can say that a skill cycle of Guan Yu and Alexander lasts for 8 seconds. So if the shield of the active skill lasts for 4 seconds, like it says in the description of the active skill, it means that half of the time Alex will have an attack bonus. Half of the time he will have a defense bonus. Of course, this calculation does not take into account some other variables like talents and items effects, like for example the Skola's Lucky Coin, which provides a shield. So my suggestion is to stay always in the ballpark of something realistic. If half of the time Alex has extra attack and half of it he has extra defense, we can almost safely say that he has an extra 20% permanent attack and 15% permanent defense. This value of course can be adjusted basing on how many variables you want to take into account. Guan and Alex is particularly difficult combo to analyze, but not everything will be so difficult. Just follow what I'm doing. So let's now go back to the calculator, and in these boxes right here, I'm gonna add 30% for Alex's third skill, so 30% attack, and another 20% for the fourth skill, and 15% defense. So we write 40% increased attack and 15% increased defense. Health is 0. After we do that, we select which equipment you want a calculator to consider, and if you want it to consider any special talent for that specific tier of equipment. I suggest to leave this box right here on no, so never consider a legendary piece as specialized because we know how difficult it is to get a special talent on legendary pieces. Just activate it if you are sure you can get one, maybe by forging it multiple times. With the new update, we know that if you forge the same piece 5 times, even if it's not consecutive, the 5th time, if you didn't get a special talent in the previous 4, it's granted for you to get a special talent. So if you're sure you can get a special talent, then check yes, otherwise check no. So now what you need to do is just to click this optimize button right here. As you can see, the calculator will process about 20,000 solutions and choose the best for your situation. You can see here on the bottom. Everything has been calculated and this window right here will appear. When it's finished, just click OK and everything will be appearing on the field. So this is the equipment that the calculator has suggested you to craft. Pretty easy, no? So in this situation, we have the Gatekeeper's Shield, the Gold Helm of the Eternal Empire, the Hop Clock, the Sacred Grips, the Karyak's Humility, and the Eternal Empire for the boots. So you also get the 2 set bonus, so these will account even for the set bonuses. So if you have 2 sets, you can get the 2 set bonus. Of course you can get the Eternal Empire instead of the Shio's Return, even if you have 0.5% less statistics, because overall, with 2 pieces of equipment of the same set, you will have more statistics. So in total, the calculator has suggested you to get about 41.50% defense and 21% health. You can download this calculator for free just by joining our Discord. So make sure to join, click the link in the description down below or in the pinned comment. Again, many thanks to Salamalesssss for working with us on this project, and I hope you guys will enjoy. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Remember that you can support this channel for free, just hit the like button, subscribe so you don't miss out to any future content like this one. As always, I will see you on the next one.